In the last decade or so, cybercrime has grown on an exponential scale, from a billion-dollar heist on Bangladesh to the botching of a Seth Rogen comedy. So how does North Korea fit into the equation? And how did the hackers manage to break into some of the world's most sophisticated security systems? Here's what we know about the cybercriminals known as the Lazarus Group. Here's how it happened. The origins of the group remain relatively unknown, with the criminals first receiving public attention for their part in a series of cyber attacks on US and South Korean news outlets in 2009. The attack involved a large number of hijacked computers seeking access to specific websites with the intention of causing an overload, known as distributed denial of service. Just a few of the targets included the White House, Amazon, and the South Korean National Intelligence Service. These websites and dozens more were unavailable for several hours, leading to damage to the revenue of these sites and an immediate investigation into who was responsible. The South Korean media firmly blame North Korea for the security breach, but Americans have never been able to draw any hard conclusions, and so the true perpetrators remain somewhat uncertain. Sure enough, in the years that followed, North Korea and the nation's enigmatic leader, Kim Jong-un, continued to build a murky global reputation, becoming known for unrivaled levels of censorship and corruption. As a result, Kim's leadership style became a common figure for mockery in Western culture, none more so than Seth Rogen's 2014 comedy film The Interview, in which the main characters set out to assassinate a fictionalized version of the North Korean leader. As you might have seen coming, Sony Pictures, the studio responsible for distributing the movie, became the next target for hackers. After already pushing back the film's release to make its content more palatable for the North Korean government, who promised stern and merciless retaliation if The Interview was shown in its original form, Sony Pictures fell victim to a cyber attack in November 2014. Employees' computers were hacked and personal details stolen, while executives' salaries and even upcoming movies were leaked. The screen that appeared on targets' computers explained that the perpetrators were known as the Guardians of Peace, and threatened that there would be further attacks unless Sony complied with the group's requests. The studio lost control of several of its Twitter accounts, as one posted a demonic picture of CEO Michael Linton and chairperson Amy Pascal, and a range of derogatory internal emails were also publicly shared, some aimed at the company's biggest stars, including Angelina Jolie, Kevin Hart, and Will Smith. In December, just before the movie's release, the hackers shared another message, this time on text-sharing site Pastebin, that there would be further action on any theaters showing the film, even invoking the memory of 9/11. Not wanting to endanger the studio or moviegoers any further, the premiere and wide theatrical release were cancelled, and The Interview was made available to stream online on Christmas Eve. In the aftermath of the attack, the FBI concluded that the North Korean government was responsible for the criminal actions, based on specific lines of code, encryption algorithms, and data deletion methods, with the security agency issuing charges against North Korean hacker Park Jin-hyok, who is believed to be in hiding from the American authorities in his homeland. And as you'd expect, the North Korean state has denied any involvement in the hacking. The culprits have been dubbed the Lazarus Group, after the biblical figure who was restored to life 4 days after his death. And similarly, the team of hackers have continued to reappear after seemingly vanishing. Their next high-profile crime came against Bangladesh Bank in 2016, as nearly $1 billion was ordered to be transferred from the nation's accounts at the Federal Reserve Bank in New York to a series of newly opened accounts at the RCBC's Jupiter Street branch in Manila, the Philippines. Unfortunately for the hackers, what they'd failed to account for was that their bank also shared a name with Jupiter Seaways Shipping, a group blacklisted by the United States for helping Iran avoid oil sanctions, meaning alarm bells were sent ringing through New York. Upon closer inspection, the word foundation had also been misspelt in the transfer order, and the transaction was cancelled after $81 million had already reached the Philippines, most of which was lost to the cybercriminals. Again, the FBI announced there were links between the heist West and North Korea, adding the attack to the list of charges against Park. But the question remains, how could a country whose GDP per capita sits in the bottom 20 worldwide conduct such effective hacks on some of the most sophisticated IT systems around? The story goes that the North Korean state sponsors a section of its army devoted entirely to developing an elite group of cyber attackers, capable of breaching any security system in the world. As is typical of the mysterious country, it's hard to confirm any details about the program, but reports suggest that hundreds of expert hackers are produced on an annual basis, and the UN has stated that North Korea has generated an estimated $2 billion through cybercrime. Of course, the country denies any wrongdoing whatsoever, and the allegations are even more concerning while more than half the nation live below the poverty line. Let us know who you think was behind these cyber attacks, and if you think there will be more hacks in the not too distant future. And that's how it happened. Thanks for watching.